Pain is the best teacher, and people don't really change until they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Learned this lesson the hard way because I have a lot of clients right now going through breakups. And today I told one of my clients my story about my breakup after 6.5 years. And I went through a lot of pain, right? It was the majority of my 20s, and I got dumped a week after my 30th birthday. A lot of toxicness, a lot of toxic things going on. But your ex always is your greatest teacher. They're always one of your greatest teachers. And the reason why you aren't able to let go is because you haven't learned the lesson. During that relationship, I learned a lot of lessons. And I learned that that person at that time of my life taught me how to have fun, how to let go, how to not be so serious, how to live in the present moment, how to go out, spend more time with friends and family, and have fun. And that felt great. At that time, I didn't know that I could feel that way for all of those years. But as we grew up together, I wanted to change. I wanted to grow up into an adult, and I felt very constrained. And so naturally I started pulling away. I started withholding love, which led to the end of that relationship. And it felt like a divorce. It wasn't. But after the relationship ended, I was in so much pain that I couldn't align my words and my actions. I went through a job loss because I was struggling at work, because my mental capacity was diminishing. And I would unpack her stuff and pack her stuff, put it on the porch. She would show up sometimes. She would come to my apartment at 4 a.m., right, on the weekend, whatever, but would never text me back. And I had a lot of anxiety and depression during that, like most people going through breakups do. And I couldn't align my words and my actions, and I couldn't stick to my guns, and I couldn't draw a line in the sand and say, take it or leave it. And this went on for months and months and months, and it caused me a lot of pain, right, for about 5 or 6 months. Till I moved away, got a new job, and started working, but then COVID happened. I got laid off, and I moved back to the city that I had just left. And the cycle continued. So at this point, all right, we're about 6 months post-breakup, I tried to do the thing that everyone tries to do on social media, which is try to manifest your ex back or make it work. And I spent 6 months, okay, trying to do this. And despite the fact that I had been given an STD by her that I got rid of, don't worry, but it went back and forth, right? We both broke our words and our actions, and we hurt each other a lot. I took a lot of knives to the chest, right? A lot of emotional wounds, a lot of just scars, verbal things that have taken me a long time to acknowledge and realize. So I feel your pain if you're going through it. But what I'll tell you is the last 6 months of me trying to get her back or win her back or manifest her back, with all the things I wrote in my journal and all the meditations. About 6 months later, close to a year after the breakup, I got a photo sent to me by one of my buddies of her posted with a new guy. The comments were like, oh my God, finally, it's only been 4 or 5 months since you guys first met, blah, 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 right? And I realized all of the time that I had put in had been wasted. And during this year of my life that I essentially put everything on hold because I had envisioned my life to be with this person and I had this future that I was so married to in my mind, I realized how much of an idiot I had been. So all of the pain, all of the anguish that I spent screaming and yelling, these primal screams in the mountains of Colorado, the woods, breaking 6 open until my hands would bleed, and just sweating and working out like a savage 2 to 3 times a day, running and training for marathons, all the jiu-jitsu, all the things that I did during this time. I even won a Colorado State Championship during this time. But all of the savage things that I did, I put my life on hold because I was still trying to make this one person come back. I was so convinced that if she came back, my anxiety, my pain would stop. And that's not the truth if you're in a relationship or you're going through a breakup. The truth is that even if that person came back, they wouldn't be the same person because you are no longer the same person, nor are they. You cannot make another person come back. You have this illusion of free will, but stop falling in love with someone's potential. And even if they do come back, they won't alleviate your anxiety. They can't answer your questions. Closure is something that you give yourself. I was so frustrated with myself for the fact that I wasted 6 months of my life meditating for almost hours a day, journaling, praying that I could probably influence this person to come back from a spiritual level. You can't control somebody else's free will, right? All you can do is give away your own power, which is something that I did for 6 months foolishly. I was trying to manifest a person back that wasn't in alignment with who I needed to become. And now I'm grateful for that pain. All of those emotional daggers, all of those words, all of those extremely hurtful things that were said to me or were told to me or things that I found out or came across or bumped into or saw. I'm not going to get into it here, but the amount of pain and anguish that it caused me, I felt foolish because I was wishing for someone who had hurt me so many times. And likewise, I had hurt that person too. I wanted them back just so my pain would stop instead of me taking that 6 months that I was doing all of this dumb stuff to try and make a person come back to alleviate my own pain. You have to take your own healing into your own hands. You can, and you will, and eventually you'll get the point that if you don't stop focusing on them, you're gonna lose so much of your power that it's gonna take you forever to get the ball rolling again. Reclaim your energy, call it back, put it to good use for you, the things that you want to accomplish. Stop putting your life on pause, waiting for another person to respond or to come back or to check in or to breadcrumb you or to make you think that they can now give you all of the things that they didn't give you in the first place. They haven't changed, not by much, not as much as you're going to. So recall your energy, put it towards you and put it to good use. Because if I could go back in time and punch myself in the face or shake myself, I 110% would. Eventually I did, I found my path, I found my calling, and I'm better for it now. I'm a much better person for it. But all of that pain, all of that anguish, all of those sleepless nights, all of that anxiety and depression and loneliness and just feelings of being blind or being hurt or feeling like a big part of myself was missing, it was always there. I just didn't want to see it. I couldn't change the channel. So look, I've been there. If you're still watching, I got your back, okay? But do not bury tomorrow, all right? Make use of it. Carpe that fucking diem, and I'll see you guys in the next one.